Hey, how's it going? I hope you've had a great year so far. 2025 has shaped up to be quite a busy year for myself. It's been a while since my last video, and so I thought I'd share this collection of time lapse videos of myself illustrating fan art for upcoming comic conventions. And while that's happening visually in this video, I thought I would maybe take some time to talk about a little bit of what I've been up to this year. But before I do that, I wanted to give a bit of a shout out to a particular art store that is here locally in Calgary, Mona Lisa Artists Materials Limited. They are a wonderful art store, and I've been going there for years for a lot of the materials that you see in this video at the moment, particularly the Prismacolor markers. They're one of the few stores left that carry Prismacolor markers. But they have a very limited stock, and that's one of the sad things too about Prismacolors. I'm gonna have to find some different markers to use once I've run out of the ones that I have now, because they've been phased out essentially, and so that's been kind of sad. So yeah, that'll be interesting to be doing illustrations like this with different markers. So if anybody has any suggestions on what kind of markers are really good out there, please feel free to leave some of your suggestions in the comments below. But yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Mona Lisa because that art store has supplied artists here locally for well over 65 years. And unfortunately, they are closing down this year, the last day of operation being June 30th. So, yeah, if you're local and you're an artist and you are looking for a great art store to get your supplies, check out Mona Lisa's while you can. They have wonderful supplies, really good Prismacolor materials, pencil, crayons, markers, wonderful selection of sketchbooks, pens, everything you need basically for paints. If you're a painter, they've got watercolor, acrylic, oil paints, canvases, so all sorts of things. And yeah, I'm kind of sad that is a reality that's going to be true in the next few months, that Mona Lisa's will not be around anymore. So yeah, that and Prismacolor markers essentially being phased out. It's kind of sad. I mean, this year was also the year that one of my favorite comic shops locally as well is closing down. Another Dimension Comics located in Kensington, they're closing down this month. And yeah, I'm not really sure where to get my comics. If anyone has any suggestions of good comic stores locally, please leave a comment below. But yeah, so it's been interesting, kind of a year of saying goodbye to some of my most favorite places to go in the city, where I can get my most favorite art tools and supplies, as well as, my favorite comics. Thank you, Mona Lisa's, for being a wonderful art store. I'm really going to miss it. Back to what I've been up to so far. I had a list of things that I wanted to try and accomplish. And the most important goal on that list was making a graphic novel. It's something I've been wanting to do ever since finishing Repose. And yeah, I have a lot of story ideas that I've been trying to flesh out, from a story idea to an actual fully realized story from beginning to end. And I'm happy to say that I do have one. The final draft is written, or in my case, finally thumbnailed from beginning to end. And I'm gearing up for the production phase. And so what I wanted to do a little differently this time was to not just self-publish but to see if I could get a little bit of support this time. And so this year I decided to apply for some grants as I start thinking about the production of the book as well as the promotion of the book. I definitely want to take a more active role with communities as well as take on a coloring team, which would increase the chances of finishing the book in a timely manner. Of course, all this is happening in the month of April. Well, not all in the month of April, but most in April. Applying for grants, doing taxes, Comic Cons to prepare for. April is just super busy. And as an illustrator, I don't know if there are those out there who feel the same way, probably, who are also freelance illustrators. I find I have to wear a lot of hats in this career, and that can make things feel pretty hectic and pretty chaotic at times. I know for myself, I don't quite make enough money still as a freelance illustrator, and so oftentimes I'm doing other jobs, such as tutoring, where I teach some of the basics of drawing and human anatomy and observational studies to interested students. I also have a part-time job at the public library, which is a great job. But as you can imagine, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with freelance illustration or what I was trained to do at university. And so I find myself doing a lot of different jobs and projects that kind of take me away from the drawing table. Or if I am at the drawing table, I'm working on projects that aren't necessarily for myself, but I get paid to do them. So it's often a balance between what I would like to do that would be artistically fulfilling versus what I have to do in order to make a small living. And ultimately, all I really want is to be able to make my own comics, my own stories, and to get paid for them, to make dare I say, make a living making comics. And so that's still the dream, and I'm just trying to find different ways to get there. With the internet being such a big part of our lives, despite its many downfalls, it's still a really great time to be an illustrator and a cartoonist. With a lot of the tools available to us, we really do have a lot more power to make things happen for ourselves. And so, amongst all of that, as you can see, I've also been creating this collection of fan art illustrations, mainly for the Calgary Comic Expo. I'm really excited about some of the movies that are coming out this year. Fantastic Four First Steps is one of the movies that I'm really excited about. I've just always been a fan of the Fantastic Four. The comics are just amazing. Those were the comics that were the first comics for me where I felt that the characters were so vivid and so clearly distinct from each other. It made me want to find some more comics that were similar, like the X-Men or Doom Patrol or even Jeff Smith's Bone. Anyways, after watching the trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie, I really feel like they've nailed the heart and soul of the Fantastic Four comics in that trailer. So I'm really hopeful about it. And I guess we'll have to wait and see what the movie's like. We've had so little Fantastic Four content in mainstream media that I really am just, hungry for anything Fantastic Four at this point. So, super excited. Speaking of super, another movie that I'm really excited for is Superman by James Gunn. I am a really big fan of the character Superman and the comics of Superman. Ask anybody who knows me; they'll probably confirm and tell you that show is a Superman fan. But you might be surprised to learn that actually I really didn't like Superman when I was a teenager. Mostly because he was the only superhero that I was aware of that didn't have a mask. And as a result, it seemed so ridiculous to me how nobody could recognize that Clark Kent was Superman. I didn't realize the actual brilliance of that until I watched Christopher Reeve's Superman, the movie by Richard Donner. That movie was fantastic. Christopher Reeve's performance in there was obviously the best. He was such a great Superman. His Clark Kent was so different from his Superman. And once I realized that, it all became clear to me. And I understood why Superman was so beloved as a character. It's one of those fictional characters that stands the test of time. And I'm really excited to see what the latest iteration of Superman will be in the world of cinema. It was really easy to get into making these fan art illustrations because I'm a fan of all of these characters that I get a chance to illustrate for the shows. But my experience with making fan art for these shows hasn't always been exactly the rosiest one. It's a bit of a love-hate relationship in some ways. Let me explain. So in these comic shows, it's both wonderful and also a little bit frustrating at times where mainstream content gets a lot of attention and the most attention, which is understandable. I get that. The years I spent making fan art and also trying to build a career as a cartoonist and illustrator and making my own comics and stories, doing the two at the same time is not exactly the easiest thing to do. Oftentimes I get more attention for my fan art than my self-published comics, which, you know, is understandable given that my comics are often new to audiences and their first time discovering it or hearing about it is at these shows. And trying to promote my own work in different ways is a skill set that I'm still trying to build. I used to make quite a few fan art prints for these shows, but over time I'm slowly trying to phase those out and focus more on getting comics made, whether it's self-published or with a publisher, and make original illustrations if a concept or idea comes to me. I still want to make some fan art in some capacity, and so I've been making these fan art illustrations for these shows. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. The reason why I want to do these illustrations with mixed media, with Prismacolor markers, with India ink, pens, pencil crayons, is because I wanted to do more illustrations that are more tactile. I often spend a lot of time on the computer or my iPad to make freelance illustrations or to make my own comics. I don't want to be dependent on one set of tools when it comes to making art. I want to be able to have a balance and maintain the ability to make art with any tool at my disposal, whether it's a ballpoint pen and paper, whether it's technical pens, whether it's watercolors, acrylics, gouache, oil, whether it's paper mache, whether it's spray paint, you name it. Just as much as with digital tools. I think both are equally important. But not AI art. I have to make that clear. Typing in a prompt into some program that is literally not making art. You're just using a stochastic-based program to generate quote-unquote art that is essentially stolen from existing real-life people. No matter how you shake it, that's a no-go for me. And so, as the year unfolds, I aim to start production on making a graphic novel, whether I get grant funding for it or not. Making comics and storytelling is very important to me personally, and I love the comics medium very much, and I've been itching to make a more substantial story using that medium. So I can't wait to get started. And once I do, I aim to start sharing some of the process and make more time lapse videos of the making of this comic as the year unfolds. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of watching the process behind making these fan art illustrations. If you're local in Calgary, I hope to see you at the Calgary Comic Expo. They have an exciting lineup of guests this year, particularly the celebrities. The original cast of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie, they're going to be there, like Judith Hogue, who played April O'Neil, and the talented actors behind the Ninja Turtles and the legendary Shredder. I'm excited for that. To wrap things up, I have a few words that are both cheesy and important to say. If you're an illustrator or a cartoonist or a creative person of any kind, I have this to say to you. Stay strong, keep going, and always believe in yourself. I'll see you in the next one.